Hey, this is a weird one, but I'm here at Apple in London and they're giving me a sneak peek at all the new iPhones, the new watches and the new Apple Intelligence stuff a couple days early. So let me show you everything they've shown me. Okay, so I just got back from the little event at Apple. I've just spent the whole day there. To give you some context, it was held at London's Battersea power station office, which is beautiful, and it was kind of like a showcase of everything new, which was really interesting to see. They had a few rooms set up where you could kind of take photos and a bit of content and just see the products beforehand, which is really nice. So I've been hands-on with pretty much everything new they're putting out over the next few weeks. So let's talk about it. Let's jump in with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's the big one, it's the one everybody's excited about. And the biggest update, I guess, this year is the camera control button on the side. Now, it does take a little bit of getting used to because it's kind of got two stages to it. You can press it halfway and get a bunch of options, or you can press it the whole way to get a photo, or you can just press it from any point and it will open up the camera, which is really useful. And the settings that they showed us and the way it can be used to zoom and things like that look crazy useful. If you're a content creator or if you're anybody that's kind of interested in filmmaking or just taking better photos, then it's really good. I will say it was kind of definitely more suited for like landscape taking rather than portrait. You can still use it in portrait really nicely, but it's definitely more suited to kind of holding your phone like this. I actually really like this feature. I make a lot of content, so for someone like me, that's going to be really useful. I don't have to fiddle around with the settings on the screen. I can actually use this physical kind of button thing to do it, even though they don't really call it a button. Another feature they showed off really nicely was the 4K 120. They had a couple of models there, and they did some really good examples of how nice the slow motion can look. I actually managed to film a bit of this while I was there, and I airdropped it to my phone, so I'll put it over this bit of me talking, but it looked really great on the phone, and I'm sure it looks really good on the computer too. That was nice to see. And we also got a little demo of the new camera in general. There's a bunch of new photo styles and stuff in there, and I used a little bit of the time to take some photos of the models as well, and that looked really nice, so I'll chuck these up there so you can see it too. The camera upgrades this year and the new camera control feature, I think it's going to be really popular with content creators like myself, but also people who just want a little bit more control over the camera on their phone. Another big one for this year was obviously the Desert Titanium model, which was actually a really nice in person. When they showed it on the screen, it's kind of hard to get an idea of what it's like, but in person it's this really nice kind of subtle color. It's actually kind of difficult to tell in some lights if it's gold or if it's kind of like this white gold look, and the rails are a little bit more golden as well. Overall, it's a really good looking phone. It was definitely the most popular when we were there. People were taking a lot of photos of it and it was getting a lot of attention. It was kind of hard to get a hold of. I did my best to film it in like natural light so you could see exactly what it's like, so take a look at this footage. But yeah, I think they've done a really good job here. It's not for me, but I can see it being a really popular color. They also got some of these photos of me in this room looking all chill and stuff, although I'm not a very great model, as you can probably tell. Of course, we also saw the standard iPhone 16, and honestly, I think this is a really solid upgrade this year. I thought it was pretty good last year, but this year the iPhone 16's taken like a really big jump. You're not only getting the camera control, which is all new, but you're also getting the action button, which was only on the Pros last year, and you're getting the new chip as well, the A18 chip, which is now in this phone, which jumps 2 generations. You were on the A16 chip, and you're now jumping all the way up to the A18 chip, meaning it's going to be really future-proof for a really long time. Of course, it's still stuck at 60 Hz. I don't see Apple changing that anytime soon, as sad as that is. In other updates to it, it got a new wide-angle camera with autofocus and macro, so you can get nice shots of that as well. And the colorways this year are really nice. I don't want to spend too long talking about colors because I could do that all day, but Apple have definitely dialed up the saturation this year. The last few years, they've all kind of been like a bit pastel-y, which I honestly don't mind, but this year, yeah, they look great. I still think the teal is the color to go for here. It's really, really nice, and the ultramarine is a very close second, but these are all way more colorful. Again, in this short time I had, I tried to film them as best as I could, so hopefully that will show you what the colors look like. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be happier with these colors this year. They looked really, really nice. Moving on from there, we also had a really small demo of Apple Intelligence. Now, this is like a bit of a strange one for Apple because it's not coming out immediately. In America, it's coming out before anybody else, but in the UK here, it's not until December, and then other countries, it's later and all those sorts of things. The demo we were shown, though, was really nice. It was kind of some more kind of basic functions of Apple Intelligence. So we saw how you can rewrite stuff to be a bit more like strict and professional or a bit more fun or things like that. We also saw some really nice updates with Siri, so it can still kind of answer your questions even if you fumble over your words, or if you're kind of asking something within context, it can keep that context so you don't have to keep asking a brand new question every time. It kind of remembers what you says. And one of the best features I thought though, and I didn't get any footage of this, I'm really sorry, is it does clean up as well. So if you've got a photo and you want to remove something from the background, it can just detect what it thinks you want to remove and then remove it. We did a live demo of this and it worked there and then with 2 people in the room. Really, really cool. Some nice Apple Intelligence stuff. I really hope Apple Intelligence kind of pays off in the way that they're explaining it to, because I think once it's there and once it's kind of invisible to the end user, where the fact it's just built into the phone and you use it in the same way as opening an app or setting a timer or anything as simple as that, I think it'll be really powerful. So until then, we'll see. But yeah, some cool demos today. Okay, I did want to talk about the watch as well, because I haven't actually worn an Apple Watch for a little over a year now for a bunch of reasons, and I'll make a video on that at some point, I promise. The new Series 10 were actually really nice, and weirdly I'm almost embarrassed to say, but the gold titanium model with the Milanese loop or whatever it's called was really nice. I was surprised at how much I liked that, and when I put it on I was like, ooh, this is nice. It is slimmer as well, you can tell that definitely. I had a feeling that might be the case. When you say 10% slimmer to someone, it's like, how can that even translate? But once you put it on your wrist, you can absolutely feel it. I only tried the titanium model of that and it was a lot lighter. And it was also the first time I checked out the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and I had a look at the black one, and this is really nice. If I was tempted by the gold Series 10, this one was probably even more tempting. If they'd jumped it to a version 3 this year, maybe I would have gone for it. I didn't have loads of time with this one as I did with the other, but yeah, really liked that watch. And it was a lot of fun to actually try on. I don't really live near an Apple store, so it's kind of difficult for me to see these things sometimes. And finally, the last kind of thing that I saw and I had a little briefing on were the new AirPods. Now, I've been an AirPods Pro user for pretty much since they've been out, and it's one of those things, if I leave the house without them, I feel a bit sick, or I turn around and go and get them because they're just so good. And it was really nice to see the new AirPods get noise cancelling on the lower end models. They've been redesigned a little bit as well to fit ears better, and when I pop them in, yeah, they fit my ears fine. I'm kind of one of the lucky ones where AirPods just fit me anyway. I don't have a problem with them. And they sounded way better. I'm pretty used to the AirPods Pro sound, but these were a substantial upgrade over the standard AirPods. And the ones with ANC honestly sounded even better. That active noise cancelling isn't quite as good as what you get on the Pros, but for open ear earbuds, they were really solid. I was really surprised at how good they were at cancelling out that noise. So if you're ever going on a bus or a plane or a train or a tube or anything like that, these are going to be really nice upgrades if you don't want to go up to the Pro models. I also had the briefest of goes on the Airpods Max. I've actually never tried the Airpods Max, but I'm kind of in the market at the moment because I don't like my Sony XM4s, and these seemed really, really nice. The colorways this year are really beautiful, and I really, really like all of them. You know me, I'm a pastel guy, and seeing them all in different pastel colors was just awesome. So that kind of wraps up everything I saw. If you're wondering what I'm going to pick up this year, it will be an iPhone 16 Pro Max, of course. I'm going to go for natural titanium. I am tempted by the Watch Series 10 and the Airpods Max, but I'll let you know if I pick them up. The one thing I wanted to sign this video off with though is, if you're on a 14 or 15, I don't think there's anything here to massively push you up unless you're really, really into like tech or the details or anything. Or if you're like me, like a content creator that, is using your phone all the time to make media. But if you're on a 13 or lower, this is going to be a really huge upgrade for you. Cameras alone across both of these devices are going to be amazing. And they've also upped the battery life of all of the models. So that's something you'll appreciate as well. So that rounds up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, pop a like. If you're grabbing anything from this kind of cycle of Apple products, let me know in the comments below. Or if you're sticking with what you got, let me know in the comments below as well. Always love to hear what you have to say. And as ever, I will see you all in the next one.